Welcome to the Shelf Learner, educating myself with the books from my shelf. Welcome to the Self Learner Shed. In today's video, we're going to discuss Chapter 9 of Read and Grow Rich by Burke, Hedges. Chapter 9 is titled Inside the Mind of a Reader. I really enjoyed this chapter because the author used the story to make a point that it's important to work hard so that you can appreciate what you earned. He shares a story about a spoiled teenage girl who was approaching her 16th birthday. So she would plead and beg her dad, who was a self-made millionaire, for a brand new red Corvette. So one day when she was coming home from school on her 16th birthday, her dad met her at the front door, and he said to his excited daughter, "I got a surprise for you in the garage." So her daughter, so excited, immediately ran to the garage, opened the door, and in horror, her jaw dropped. She was looking around and she noticed that on the floor of the garage, there were pieces and parts scattered all over the place. Even the engine of the vehicle was broken down. On top of the red hood of the vehicle, there was a set of keys, a business card and phone number of a mechanic, and there was a message that said, "Happy birthday. If you want your brand new car, then call this mechanic to put it together." Well, she called the mechanic, and for 3 months, during the evenings and the weekends, they labored really hard to put the car together. And they finally put together, and she was driving around in her brand new red Corvette. Well, this spoiled teenage girl grew up, got married, had children, and 15 years later, she's still driving around in that immaculate red Corvette because she appreciated it, so she took care of it. Well, reading has a lot to do with that. When you read, in particular, a fiction book, your mind has to play the role of a director. You have to put together the plot, the setting, the characters, intellectually in your mind. Whereas if you were to watch a movie, everything is spoon-fed to you and you really don't appreciate it. That's why they say the book tends to be better than the movie. And the same applies for nonfiction reading. You have to intellectually put everything together. Well, life is a lot like that as well. You know, you have the seasons, you have the springtime, you have summer, you have fall, and you have winter. Well, I observed about life, being around the block a few times, that when you have a generation of men and women of character who are very successful, and if they fail to pass on the principles of success to their children, unlike the dad in the story who recognized the importance of instilling hard work in his spoiled teenage girl. Well, if the parents of a particular generation who happens to be successful fail to do that, then what they do is they raise up a spoiled, entitled generation who don't appreciate what they have. And the cycle of life continues, and what happens is that spoiled, entitled generation will experience hard times. And when those hard times come, that soft generation will eventually become men and women of character. And the cycle continues on. Sometimes you have successful parents who instill good values in their children, and it continues on that period of success. But once they fail to instill values in their children, then that's when it starts to deteriorate. I know that ended a little bit kind of deep, but it's something to think about. And I look forward to reading your comments below. What do you think? Do you feel that reading the book is better than watching the movie? Do you feel that it's important to instill values in your children so they can appreciate what they have to continue on that generation's success? I look forward to reading your comments and discussing Chapter 10 in the next video. And of course, make it a great day.